Imagine this. You open your phone and see that the stock market is going up. Your friend just made money investing. Your favorite creator is talking about the next big investment. Everyone seems to be getting richer. So you think, maybe I'm missing out. You invest your money. And then the market crashes. Suddenly, that investment you bought for 10,000 Indian rupees is worth Indian rupee 7,000. You panic. You sell. A few months later, the market starts recovering. And somehow, the same thing happens again. Prices rise. People become excited. You buy. Prices fall. People become scared. You sell. And after doing this for years, you look at your investment account and wonder, why does investing seem to work for everyone except me? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The problem may not be the market. It may be your brain. Because most people don't buy investments when they are cheap and frightening. They buy them when they are expensive and exciting. And that tiny psychological difference can completely change your financial results. So today, let's understand why this happens, why smart people make this mistake too, and most importantly, how you can stop doing it. Let's imagine two people. Meet Rahul and Aman. Both have 1 Indian rupee lakh to invest. Rahul starts investing when everyone around him is optimistic. The stock market has been rising for months. His friends are making money. News headlines are celebrating new market highs. People are saying things like, stocks only go up. This is the best time to invest. The next rally is going to be huge. Rahul feels confident. So he invests his entire 1 Indian rupee lakh. Now meet Aman. Aman waits. A few months later, the market drops 30%. Suddenly, the mood changes completely. The same people who were excited about investing are now saying, stay away from the market. Everything is crashing. It's too risky. I'm never investing again. Aman looks at the situation differently. Stocks are cheaper. Companies that were expensive 6 months ago are now available at lower prices. But Aman is scared. So he does nothing. And this is where something strange happens. When prices are high, people feel confident enough to buy. When prices are low, people feel too scared to buy. In other words, people often want investments most when they are expensive, and want them least when they are cheap. Why? Because we don't experience markets as numbers. We experience them through emotions. Your brain has a simple survival system. When something around you keeps getting better, your brain assumes it will probably continue getting better. And when something keeps getting worse, your brain assumes the danger might continue. This makes perfect sense in everyday life. If the weather has been beautiful all week, you expect tomorrow to be nice. If your business has been growing every month, you expect the next month to be good too. But markets don't work that way. Markets move in cycles. Optimism creates buying. Buying pushes prices higher. Higher prices create more excitement. More excitement attracts more buyers. And suddenly, people aren't buying because something is cheap. They're buying because everyone else is buying. This is where FOMO enters the picture. FOMO means the fear of missing out. And it can be incredibly powerful. Imagine you watch an investment go from 100 Indian rupees to 150 Indian rupees. You didn't buy at 100 Indian rupees. Then it goes to 200 Indian rupees. Now you're interested. At 250 Indian rupees, you're excited. At 300 Indian rupees, you feel like you're the only person who hasn't bought it. You tell yourself, I should have bought earlier. Then you finally buy. But notice what happened. The investment didn't become more attractive because it became cheaper. It became more attractive because the price was going up. That's a dangerous psychological trap. There's another reason people buy at the worst time. They want proof before they act. When an investment is falling, there is uncertainty. You don't know whether it will fall another 10%. You don't know whether the economy will recover. You don't know whether the news is temporary or something much worse. So your brain says, wait until things become clearer. But when things become clearer, prices may already have increased. Let's say an investment falls from 100 Indian rupees to 60 Indian rupees. At 60 Indian rupees, nobody knows what will happen next. Then the market starts recovering. It goes from 60 Indian rupees to 70 Indian rupees. Then Indian rupee 0, then 90 Indian rupees. Now people feel better. The news becomes positive again. Experts start talking about recovery. Confidence returns. At 100 Indian rupees, people finally feel comfortable, and they buy. But the person who was willing to invest when things felt uncomfortable had already bought at 60 Indian rupees. This creates one of the biggest contradictions in investing. The moment when an investment feels safest may not be the moment when it offers the best opportunity. And the moment when it feels most dangerous may be when your potential long-term reward is improving. Of course, this does not mean every falling investment is a bargain. Some investments fall because the underlying business is genuinely getting worse. That's why blindly buying anything that crashes is also a mistake. The point is different. Your emotions are not a reliable timing system. Now let's talk about something even more powerful. Humans are social animals. We constantly look at other people to decide what's normal. If everyone around you is buying something, your brain starts thinking, maybe they know something I don't. This is called social proof. Think about a restaurant. If you walk past two restaurants and one is empty while the other has a long line, which one looks better? Most people choose the crowded restaurant, even if they know nothing about the food. The crowd itself becomes evidence. Investing can work the same way. When everyone is buying, buying feels intelligent. When everyone is selling, selling feels intelligent. But markets can create an interesting illusion. The crowd can make a bad decision feel safe simply because millions of people are making it together. And that's how bubbles can grow. People see prices rising. They see other people making money. They assume the trend will continue. Then more people buy. Prices rise further, which makes even more people want to buy. It's almost like a snowball rolling downhill. At some point, people aren't buying because the investment is attractive. They're buying because they don't want to be the only person left behind. Now let's flip the situation. Imagine you finally invest 1 Indian rupee lakh. 2 weeks later, it's worth 90,000 Indian rupees. You feel uncomfortable. Another month passes. Now it's 80,000 Indian rupees. You start checking your account every morning. Then every hour. You read scary headlines. You watch videos predicting a huge crash. Your friend says, I told you investing was risky. Now your brain wants relief. And selling provides instant emotional relief. That's important. When you sell, you may lose money financially. But psychologically, you feel better because the uncertainty is gone. Your brain says, I'm safe now. This is one reason people often sell after prices have already fallen significantly. They aren't necessarily trying to make a bad decision. They're trying to stop the emotional pain. And this is where investing becomes less about mathematics and more about psychology. Humans generally hate losses more than they enjoy equivalent gains. Losing 10,000 Indian rupees can feel much worse than gaining 10,000 Indian rupees feels good. So when your investment falls, your brain doesn't simply say, my portfolio is down 10%. It says, I'm losing money. That feels like danger. And when the brain senses danger, it wants action. But sometimes, the smartest financial decision is to avoid emotional action. Think about a farmer. A farmer doesn't dig up the crops every morning because they haven't grown yet. He plants. He waits. He checks the conditions. He keeps working. He understands that growth takes time. Investing is similar. You don't get rewarded simply because you bought something. You get rewarded for owning productive assets and allowing time to work. But patience is psychologically difficult because patience feels like doing nothing. And humans hate doing nothing when they're afraid. This leads to another trap. People think, I just need to know when the market will go up. But nobody consistently knows that. You might think the market has already fallen enough. Then it falls another 20%. You might think the market is too expensive. Then it rises another 30%. You might wait for the perfect crash. But the crash never arrives. So instead of asking, what's the perfect time to invest? A better question is, how can I build a system that doesn't require me to predict the future? That's a completely different way of thinking. One simple approach is investing regularly. For example, suppose you decide to invest 10,000 Indian rupees every month. You don't increase it just because the market is exciting. You don't stop completely just because the market is scary. You follow your plan. When prices are high, your 10,000 Indian rupees buys fewer units. When prices are low, your 10,000 Indian rupees buys more. Over time, your purchases happen across different market conditions. You aren't trying to guess the exact bottom. You're building a habit. This is often called systematic investing or dollar-cost averaging. The important part isn't the fancy name. The important part is the behavior. You are replacing prediction with consistency. And that matters because your biggest advantage as an investor isn't knowing what happens next. It's controlling what you do when you don't know. Let's go back to Rahul and Aman. Rahul invested when everything looked amazing. Aman invested when everything looked terrible. Who made the better decision? The answer isn't simply, always buy during crashes. That's too simplistic. The deeper lesson is this. Your emotions change depending on what the market has already done. When prices rise, your confidence rises. When prices fall, your confidence falls. But ideally, your investment process shouldn't completely depend on your mood. Because if your strategy changes every time your emotions change, you don't really have a strategy. You have a reaction. And reacting to markets is dangerous. This is why wealthy investors often think differently about market volatility. They don't necessarily enjoy seeing their investments fall, but they understand that volatility is part of investing. Imagine buying a house. If the estimated value of your house falls 10% next month, are you immediately going to sell it? Probably not. Because you're thinking about the long-term purpose of the asset. But with stocks, people often see prices changing every second. That constant information creates constant emotion. The more frequently you check your investments, the more opportunities your brain has to panic. And sometimes, the biggest advantage you can have isn't a secret investment. It's simply not reacting to every piece of information. So what should you actually do? First, stop expecting yourself to predict the perfect market bottom. You probably won't. And that's okay. Second, create an investment plan before emotions take over. Decide how much you can invest regularly. Decide what types of assets fit your goals and risk tolerance. And decide what would actually make you change your strategy. Not a scary headline. Not a bad week. Not your friend's opinion. Third, understand what you're buying. Don't buy something just because it is trending. And don't buy something just because its price crashed. A falling price doesn't automatically mean a good investment. Fourth, stop confusing excitement with opportunity. When everyone is talking about an investment, ask yourself, am I buying because I understand its value? Or because I'm afraid of missing out? That single question can save you from many bad decisions. And finally, remember that investing is supposed to be boring sometimes. That's actually a good thing. You don't need to make exciting decisions every week. You need to make sensible decisions repeatedly for years. Here's the strange thing about investing. The market doesn't ring a bell when prices are low. It doesn't send you a notification saying, "Congratulations." This is the scary part where opportunities may exist. Instead, the best opportunities can arrive wrapped in uncertainty. And the most dangerous moments can arrive wrapped in excitement. That's why so many people buy after prices have already gone up. They wait for confidence. They wait for proof. They wait for everyone else to tell them it's safe. But by the time everyone feels safe, the opportunity may have already changed. So the next time you feel the urge to buy something simply because everyone else is making money, pause and ask yourself, would I still want this investment if nobody else knew about it? And when the market falls and everyone starts telling you to run, ask another question. Has the investment actually become worse, or has my emotional reaction simply become stronger? Because building wealth isn't about being fearless. It's about learning how to make reasonable decisions even when fear and excitement are screaming in opposite directions. The people who build wealth aren't necessarily the ones who can predict the future. They're often the ones who can resist reacting to it. And maybe that's the real secret of investing. You don't need to know when the market will turn. You just need a strategy strong enough that you don't turn with it.